Well, what we've got to get you to do today is, since you're regarded as someone with decent biceps.
Oh yes, yes.
We want to get some tips on how to do preacher curls.
Preacher curls. Well, you got to go see the priest first.
Well, we've got that.
Here I am. So it's practically named after me. But me, I personally find, only because I'm shorter, I prefer to stand and do them, because back in the old days we never had ones with seats. We just used to have a pad like this bolted to the floor. So just because my arms are shorter, I just prefer to stand and squat. I find if I sit, it puts my arms like this.
Yeah.
So my arms go there and I get more pull on my delt. So if I stand up, I just feel like I'm in a better position.
Yeah.
But everyone's different. If you're taller and you've got that longer limb, you can sit down more. But if you're shorter like me, I just prefer to stand. Because like I said, if I sit, then my arm goes that way. It doesn't really go down on the pad. And then it's just down and up. And with them too, like some, if you don't have this and you use a bar, you can use like generally an easy curl bar. Some people go wider, some go closer, but
we'll actually get an easy curl bar for you. So we'll just show you to do it on the leverage first, and then we'll bring across.
You know, people say speed, don't go fast, don't go slow, just a good squeeze and then down.
Okay.
And I don't go all the way where I'm stretching my arm there. I always have just a tiny little bend in it, so it's just like there.
So you don't fully extend.
No,
on
I don't
the
go like
curl.
where I'm like all the way now.
And is that for?
I just feel on safety reasons when I used to go heavier. I just found you extend your arm all the way. It just feels like it's might tear a bicep. Plus, I just feel like just keeping that little bit of tension there.
Yep.
Rather than going all the way.
And how far do you go up?
As far as you can. As far as you can squeeze it up till it's fully flexed. But don't go up to the point where you're gonna go and bring your arm off. Just bring it up till you can contract. If you start doing that, then you're using your front delt. So yeah, just till it's fully contracted. Have you got the bar there, please?
Okay. Well, before we go on to that,
on the bar.
So, what would your recommended rep range for preacher curls be?
I used to do, because I used to use them as a mass one as well, anywhere from like 6 to 8 if I went heavy. You can, like I said, do variations too, where if you got a bench like this, you can move it and put like in front of a cable machine.
Yep.
Then if I was using cables, 10 to 15. But if I'm using like actual weight itself, basic, or two, if you've got the bench like this, like you can use the bar, or you can get dumbbells as well. Anything like the basic weights, 6 to 8.
Yep.
Cables, like I said, 10 to 15.
And how many sets?
Well, I probably warm up with about 2 or 3, and again, my warm-up sets, I still squeeze them and get the blood there. So the actual, I wouldn't say they're working sets, but you still get a good pump and you can feel it. But probably like 4 to 5 actual working sets. And like I said, maybe 2 or 3 just warming up, but I don't count them as the actual. So it'd be like 5 actual sets.
And I guess you might laugh at this question.
No, it doesn't build peak.
Yeah, well, it's gonna. Well, what part of the bicep is it working, or you just?
Well, it just works your whole bicep. People always used to say, if you do preacher curl, it'll give you a peak, but peaks on biceps are genetic. So if you don't have a peak, doing this, doing that won't. If you injected oil in your arm, you might get a peak. But
well, there you go.
Some people have like a Robbie Robinson big peak. Some have a longer. Like, you know, you'd see people over the years say, like, when the magazines would say, do preachers and get a peak, and you see someone like Kevin Leverone, who has a good bicep, but it's not a peaky one. You figured after all the years he did preacher, he would have had a big peak on it by now. So peaks and that are just like I said. It's even like your bicep. Someone asked me the other day, what gives your bicep thickness? It's just genetics. It's like, you know, some people have a thinner bicep, some have that real, like Arnold's. You look at his arm this way, his biceps really thick like that. So that's all just genetics. No amount of doing any funny type of movement on an angle is gonna, like, you know, back in the old days, people say, if you do this back exercise, it'll bring your lats down lower. It's like, if your lats are joined here, they're not gonna rejoin down lower. So you only do with what you got. So.
And what about elbow position? That's another question that we were asked.
I would just have it like that. Like, don't have them like that. Just have it just there. Just, you're pretty much straight.
Yeah.
You wouldn't turn them out or turn them in. Just, you know, sometimes people say, like on exercises, turn it out, turn it in. But even me, like, to me that feels normal. But if you're, like I said, everyone's different. When you lean over a bench, your arm might be kicked out a little bit that way.
Yeah.
And if you try and turn it in, you might feel pressure in your shoulder. So whatever just feels naturally, if that feels natural for you and you get a good thing, do it there. Don't try and fight your body where it's naturally going to go.
All right. Well, what would your preference be between barbell, as in a straight bar, easy curl bar, super curl, dumbbells, or leverage for a preacher curl?
Well, I like them all. They've all got their goods and pros and cons. Well, they don't really have any cons really, but I just use them all just to break it up. Like I might do this one time, but then next time use a bar, next time use dumbbells. So I think it's just good to have variety rather than just do the same thing over and over. But generally, like I said, when I started, we never really had a leverage machine, so it was always just a pad and that. Then you'd either just use a straight bar or easy curl. But then I said, as you go on heavier in this position, your hands just naturally go that way. So the easy curl was just a bit easier than trying to hold a straight bar turn like that. So,
well, let's give Leah an easy curl bar and show us what you got.
You won't be able to see the bar, of course, because it's camouflaged.
Yeah, the ATX camouflage easy curl bar.
Thank you. So it was just like, I'd always be that grip on the easy curl. Just always felt. So just be like that. And even here too, if you've got someone to spot you, you can do your normal reps, and then sometimes once I've fatigued, I might just come to like halfway and pump a few like that. As much as, even if someone spotted me, just keep going till you just go to failure. But that was after you can't do any more. Just have your training partner bring it up there and then just go like, no, I wouldn't even say halfway, just like a quarter, and just really pump the hell out of them like that. You can't do any more. But then also remember, once you're finished doing them, your biceps generally that fatigued. If you go to put the bar back yourself, you could hurt yourself because the bicep, you got nothing left. So make sure your training partner helps you put the bar back, because if you get to here and there's nothing left, the weight can just be like that, and then you'll tear your bicep. So if you do fatigue it to where you got nothing left, because like I said, once you get to here, it's just gonna make sure your training partner, whoever's helping you, takes it off you and puts it back down.
So with the easy curl, you wouldn't normally use the outer ones. You'd never use those.
I never did.
Right?
No.
But that
for me, it doesn't feel right because I got like shorter arms and that. Like if I'm doing that, I don't feel like I get a really good squeeze on my bicep. But here, I feel like I get a really good squeeze. So like it's just going to come down to different body types and what you feel. That's why I mean, like if I say this, it works for me, doesn't mean if you say, well, he does it, I got to do that. But yet then you go, I don't feel it. I feel it better there. Then do what you feel best, as long as you're doing the movement correctly.
All right. Well, we might throw in the super curl next.
Do I have to wear a Superman suit with this one?
Well, we might have to
a cape.
Get not a Superman, but a super curl suit in
on my app.
Yeah. And another one I thought we could try is the short multi-grip one. Okay. Let's see how we address the super curl barbell.
See, anything like in close, I always find it for me on preacher feels good. So even that one feels fine for me, and so would that one.
Okay.
That's a little bit borderline. Like coming to there, I don't feel I can get as good a squeeze.
Yep.
But that's just me having the shorter arms, so I'd be in here. I just feel there, I get a really good squeeze. And also too, you can remember, even doing these if you want, you can also do reverse on here, which is nice and strict.
So what's that muscle working and
that works like your forearm, plus I always feel probably not the whole bicep, but you will feel a bit of lower part. So I always, generally when I do any type of hammer curl or anything like that, I pretty much always just feel from about here to here. I'm sure it works there as well, but the majority, because that's where the main thickness is, that's where I generally feel it the most.
And how often would you use the reverse grip?
Me, I've been lucky. I've never really had to train forearms, so
that's the secret.
Generally, when I've done them, it's generally for videos or photo shoots. People go, "How do you train your forearms?" I say, "I don't." They go, "But I saw you on a video doing it." Well, I'm just saying, if I did train them and had to train them, that's what I would do.
So you don't normally do that?
No, I've been lucky enough I haven't had to train them.
Okay.
But that is, if you do want bigger forearms, and see, my mother's got good forearms, my grandfather had good forearms, so pretty much anything I do, like when I train back, anything, my forearms always get a good pump, so I didn't really need to work them. But that is a good one if you do want to work them.
All right, well, we'll try the straight bar next. Oh, yeah. We'll
no, I've got a different one.
We're going to throw a curveball at you, see if you like this one.
ATX has too many options.
Here we go.
You know, this would be, so now this one's perfect for that. That's perfect angle and grip for your forearm. And like I said, you say forearm because you feel it there a bit, but you still will feel, still is working the bicep as well. So just because I say forearm doesn't mean you're going to be working your forearm and nothing else. Your bicep still comes into play. So, but that one actually feels good. That has more of a dumbbell hammer curl type feel to it.
And what about if you flip those grips around, and can you hit the biceps with those?
This way.
There we go.
Yeah, like I said, you're still going to work your biceps, but you're still going to feel a bit more forearm just due to your hand angle being like that. So still get your bicep fine, but just because you're almost there, you're going to get more of your forearm compared to your bicep getting more of a squeeze that way. So like I said, with training, don't ever think anything's set in stone. When somebody goes, like you said, which is better, the machine, the bar, the dumbbells, do them all, try them all, mix it up. You know, maybe for a month use just the leverage type machine. Next couple of weeks go do an easy curl bar. A couple of weeks after that do a dumbbell. You know, just mix it up. That's why I said nothing's ever, it's like, you know, when people say legs, what's better, leg press, squatting, this or that. It's like, hey, whatever you feel works best for you is what's best for you. But and if you can do all of them, do all of them. Like I said, mix it up. So don't just go, oh, I saw such and such do this and he has a big back, so that must be the back one, when that might not do shit for you. So your whole back might develop doing something totally different. So
well, let's throw in the straight bar, see how you do it with that, just to show the, like, this is for people that are,
but like I said, this was generally when I first started, this was all I used to do, was the straight bar. I said, but I'd always just come in that little bit closer like that. When it came to either just standing barbell or anything, it was always straight bar, because even back in those days, an easy curl bar was a rarity, I think, back then. When an easy curl bar come out, you're like, oh, an easy curl bar. Yeah, but same thing. But I think when it came to me and biceps, anything with straight bar was always my favourite. Just like that. And then, as I said, once your biceps are fatigued, if you've got a training partner, I always have them take the bar, because like I said, if your biceps are that fatigued and you're going to put it back, just extending your arm, you could do an injury. So if, like I said, if your training partner is here, and once you're finished curling, generally once you're there, just have him take the bar and put it down. That way you're not gonna, like I said, sometimes if you're by yourself and you're fatigued, that little bit extra can, and you don't want that.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you for...
Oh, did you want a dumbbell too? Just to show? I'll grab them. I'll grab them. Look.
Here we go.
And the thing with dumbbells is too, you can either do them, you know, you can sit here and do them one at a time if you want, or like that. I find if you're doing dumbbells sometimes you can be like this. Sometimes even if you just touch them together.
Yep.
So then it becomes pretty much like a straight bar, but your hands are on a little bit of an angle, so it's like best of both worlds. It's almost like an easy straight bar combined. But just keeping them touched a little bit can stop you being a bit wobbly sometimes. But like I said, you can just even, like I said, just do one at a time is pretty good. And then the same, like that. But generally when I do dumbbells, I generally just have them touching just to, so they go at the same motion. So.
And you realise that, like, there'd be some guys training today.
Yes.
That it would never have used a preacher curl without being attached to a, like using dumbbells on a preacher curl or a barbell. They've always just used it as a machine.
Yeah, well, even like I said, doing one at a time, I said you can sit like that, or even sometimes people might sit side on. So it almost becomes like a preacher concentration type curl. You just sit sideways on the bench. Then if you need a spot, you can just give yourself a little spot like that.
The old right arm's looking good. It's getting there.
Getting there. Slowly, but